What a win for the Sharks. What an absolutely huge win. That's 2 from 2 now against the Stormers. Everybody thought the Stormers was the best team in South African rugby right now, and I'm pretty sure they still are, but wow, the Sharks just absolutely dismantled the Stormers 2 weeks in a row. What a win for the Sharks. What a win for Durban. What a win for JP Peterson. And what a win for those young guys from the Sharks. Wow. What a past 2 weeks, and what a difference a month in rugby can make. I mean, a few months ago, a month even ago, everybody was looking at the Sharks in such a negative way. What can the Sharks do to get better? Change the coach, change the environment a bit. And now the Sharks have become the informed team right now in South African club rugby. I mean, some massive performances. And I think the Sharks have really found their style of play and they found the perfect balance in their game right now. I think the Sharks, before JP Peterson became the coach, in the last few months prior to this month or prior to December and January, really didn't understand what type of style they wanted to play or what style suited their players, suited their game style. They were kind of going in and out of different styles of play, different methodologies of how to play the game. I don't even know what they were trying to do. But now recently they've really found their spark, found what style suits them, the box kicks, playing in the right areas of the field, applying pressure through set piece, and letting other teams make mistakes and then forcing your way through those gaps and making something out of nothing. I think the Sharks have really found their style of play, and I'm really excited about the Sharks team. I really am. And I think the Sharks team recently have understood how to win games. And once a team knows how to win games within a culture, within a group, it's very difficult to stop that. And even if they do eventually lose a game, they're going to be very tough to beat. And it's going to be, you have to really beat the Sharks now to beat them. You're not just going to beat them, rock up and beat them, which is very positive for the Sharks. I think the Sharks forwards were absolutely all over the park. They were dominant. They were feisty. They were ready to play. I think there were some standout performances from the likes of Emil van Heerden, the entire loose trio from the Sharks. Sia Khaleesi with ball in hand today was phenomenal. He was aggressive. He looked like he wanted to make a point against his future team and his ex-team. Pepsi Buthelezi has been absolutely incredible the last few weeks. He's been in the form of his life, and I've really been enjoying watching how he's been playing. Vincent Jachuka as well. He's become such a mature player, and it's really good to see guys like this really standing out. I mean, before the season, I wasn't too big on the likes of Emil van Heerden and Vincent Jachuka and what they've been putting out for the Sharks based on their hype. But now they've been so good. They've been so classy. They've really just stepped up their work rate. And I think guys like that, that's what you want to see from guys that after 2027 could become very experienced Springbok players eventually. They're starting to play like the Springbok guys do at that level, and it seems like some of those players are starting to understand what it takes to play at that level, what kind of physicality it takes, what kind of mentality, what kind of, like, how often you have to be busy in a game. Like Pepsi Buthelezi, Vincent Chuchuka, Paul de Villiers and Evan Roos today were absolutely phenomenal, and it's made me really excited about the future of South African rugby, especially in the loose forwards, because I might have to give credit. Paul de Villiers was everywhere, and he can steal a ball like Heinrich Brissot. That guy is absolutely phenomenal, and I definitely think he will be a Springbok one day, if not this year. And I think Evan Roos recently has just changed the way he plays. Yes, he's an aggressive player, but that just suits his style of play. He was all over. He was making things difficult for the Sharks, and I think even though some of the Stormers players really didn't pitch up or some guys struggled to get going, I think Evan Roos and Paul de Villiers really put their hand up today and had some great games around that. But I have to give credit, Sharks loose trio, Sia Khaleesi, Pepsi Buthelezi and Vincent Chuka. I think they've really found their loose trio right now. And the guys coming off the bench, also Nick Hatton, Jason Jenkins, they've had really big impacts for the Sharks recently. I think they've just found their balance in their squad. They found what they're looking for, how they want to play. And I think JB Peterson is also getting the best out of his players. Also, just have to say that Yaku Williams' try, what was Warwick Galant thinking? What was he doing? That's always one of my biggest fears when players in their own try line let the ball roll and don't really pay attention to what's going on around them. That's one of my big fears, especially if it's against my team. It's one of my biggest fears, and it happened for Warwick Galant today. That's going to be tough to see in the film room on Monday, but I mean, he's still a very good player. You could just tell as soon as he picked up the ball and he wanted to get the game going as quick as possible that he knew he messed up. He knew he made a very, very important mistake, and I feel sorry for him because he's a good player. He's just sometimes loses his head a bit with stuff like that, but I mean, that wasn't really a characteristic of Rokeland. That was very uncharacteristic of him. I don't know what was going on there, but an amazing try, an amazing opportunity sniffed out by Yaku Williams. I think Yaku Williams has been such a good addition to the Sharks side, and I think the Sharks have found their backline. I mean, Grant Williams or Jaden Hendricks at 9. Jaden's been good off the bench or starting. Grant Williams has been great. His box kicks have been phenomenal. Jaden's been much better in the last few weeks and the last few months. He just seems like he wants to play more. He doesn't have that kind of not caring attitude right now. He looks absolutely phenomenal. Jordan Hendricks has been really good, and I've been really impressed with how he's been playing. He's been using his strengths now. He's a very good ball carrier as well. He's been a lot better with ball in hand as well, and I've really enjoyed that from him. The forwards have also helped because they've actually been getting front foot ball for the first time in a while for the scrum offs and the fly-offs to play off of. Esterhuizen and Ethan Hooker have been the combination right now in the URC for centres. I mean, the Springboks are probably looking at that and saying, well, if Dale Lindy and Jesse Creel get injured, that should be the centre pair right now because they have been absolutely phenomenal together. And Ethan Hooker is just hats off to him. I know him. He's a great player. He's a great person. He has been phenomenal. And I really love seeing him play at number 13. He grew up as a 12. He played 12 early on at under 19 and under 21. He is a 12, but now I definitely think his position has become 13. He's really good on the outside channel. And I love how they can just put him on the wing now, and he's unlocked a new skill. He's so good under the high ball. Ever since he played for the Springboks at wing, he's become so good under the high ball. And I mean, these guys, these young players that get into the Springbok squads, get into that environment, they just become so much better. So I really can't wait to see what a guy like Paul de Villiers can do in a setup like that, because he is just such a phenomenal player. He can steal a ball no matter where he is on the park, and I've been very impressed with him. That's why I'd also like to see a guy like Pepsi Buthelezi and Vincent Chichuka get more time in that environment, because Vincent Chichuka is one of those guys. He has all the skill set you need. He's good at line-out time. He's good at more defense, more attack. He's good on attack in general. He's just a very smart player, and he's becoming a lot better. So I have to give credit where credit's due. I mean, Esterhuizen and Ethan Hooker have been phenomenal. Edward van der Merwe, it was one of his better performances for the Sharks and signing for the Sharks. He has been really good, and I can't wait to see him back in the Springbok setup. See, I like these guys that recently, I think JB Peterson's just changed something completely different, because it seems like the Sharks guys are just playing for each other, playing for something bigger than themselves. And there's been a lot of reports saying that the Springbok players don't seem to really care about playing for club rugby. And to be honest, I was actually believing that for a few months. I was, because it seemed like some of the guys just didn't care as much about playing for the Sharks or for the Bulls or for the Stormers that they do playing for the Springboks. But today proved me wrong. Esterhuizen, Ethan Hooker, Sia Khaleesi, Oxenchair, they all played with their heart. They played. That's what you love about South African derbies. You have to love it. I know I'm going on a bit of a rant right now, but that's why you have to love South African derbies, and these guys really wanted to win this game. And everybody knew the Stormers were going to come out flying. They scored in the first minute of the game. They were going to come out flying to get that revenge from last week, losing in Cape Town. But the Sharks hung in there, and the Sharks are a winning team now. They are a much better team, and I think all credit has to go to the Sharks. They were phenomenal, and they've really grown throughout the last few months. And I think JP Peterson needs to get a massive long-term contract at the Sharks. He is the right guy for the job. He gets the best out of the players, whether they are an inexperienced youngster or a star player. He'll single them out. He'll make them feel like they are a part of the team. He'll get the best out of the star players that maybe a different coach wouldn't get, because he is an ex-Springbok superstar player. He is. He's won a World Cup with the Springboks. The guys probably look up to him as well, because he was a Springbok player before them. So it's really good to have that. And I think the Sharks I've been so impressed with, and I think JP Peterson, Sharks, please give him a longer contract. But now moving over to the Stormers, a lot of uncharacteristic errors. I mean, some things didn't go their way, and I think there was a key period in the game, especially after half-time, where things could have gone a lot differently for the Stormers. The game could have gone either way, which is what you love to see from a derby game like this. It could have gone to the Stormers. They could have got a nice quick try, momentum on their side. They would have pinned the Sharks back in the corner. But I just think, just like in MMA or boxing, the way styles make fights, I think this is the same thing for rugby. I think the Stormers don't have to worry too much. I think they're still going to win a lot of games. I still think they're going to be one of the favourites, and they're going to learn from this. They're going to get better from this. But I do think styles make rugby games, and I think the Sharks' style of play, the way they play the game, the way they pin them in the corners, just the Sharks' overall style of play is difficult for the Stormers to deal with. Just like I think other teams in the URC will be difficult for the Sharks to play because of their style. I mean, obviously a very good team can come get over that style of play and find a way to do it, but the Stormers just couldn't get it done today. Sasha Ngomazulu, he had a good game. It's hard when you're losing like this for a player to not try too much, and I just think that him and Willemse didn't really. I think they'll look back at these last 2 weeks and say they didn't maybe do as much as they would have liked to do. I think obviously a few missed kicks last week for Sasha, Damon Willemse and Sasha not getting what they probably would have liked out of these last 2 games compared to the likes of an Apelele Fassi and Jordan Hendricks. I think they were completely outplayed the last 2 weeks, but it doesn't mean that they're not Springbok players anymore, that they're not good enough to be Springboks. It was just these two games were so physical, so intense. And I mean, if you have to take care of guys like Andre Esterhuizen and Ethan Hooker every single time they carry the ball, it's going to be tough for you to get your own ball and be clean with it and get good attacking opportunities. It's going to be tough. So styles do make rugby games the way styles do make fights in boxing, and I think the Shark style was a difficult style for the Stormers to deal with. I think the Stormers are going to bounce back. I think they're going to have a great season still. Kobus Reinach, Sasha Ngomezulu, Wandisile Simelane, Damian Willems, you have some other guys around the squad. Very, very talented players. Imad Khan still, who I was hoping would bench this game, but he didn't get the opportunity. Paul de Villiers, Ben Jason Dixon, Evan Ruiz, and Totoko Mchunu, a guy that I rate so highly, and Zachary Porton. They've got such good players, and they're gonna be fine. So Stormers fans, if you are watching this, it's not the end of the world. It's not fire John Dobson now. It's not. That's not the case. I think the Sharks' style is just difficult for the Stormers to deal with, and I think the Stormers will bounce back from this and be better. I definitely do. And I think a lot of their players personally have to go look at their skill sets and see where they maybe went wrong, kicking for touch, kicking for poles, high balls, box kicks, a lot of these things, clean out technique, scrum technique. There's a lot of the things that the Stormers players will go and fix themselves, which can benefit the whole team. So I think the Stormers fans, don't worry too much. You're still in a very healthy position in the standings. You've got the Champions Cup still that you can go and attempt to win. So don't worry about that. And it's a very positive that Evan Ruiz came back and had a massive game like he did. So I think the Stormers, future-wise, have a very, very strong future. And in this competition this year, they're healthy favourite of the South African teams. But it's very good to see that the Bulls and the Sharks really have been picking up the game the last few weeks. Because I was getting worried for a second, it's only going to be the Stormers being the informed team right now. But I'm glad Bulls got a big win. Bulls have been winning the last 2 weeks. Can they keep it up? I think they can. I think they're also finding their culture, their style of play, being able to win games. Same thing goes for the Sharks. Now, the problem is with the Challenge Cup coming up, if I was the Sharks and the Bulls, I probably wouldn't take... Well, the Bulls are playing the Champions Cup, so they should take that seriously. But the Challenge Cup, I would send not a B team, but probably an understrength team if I was a Sharks fan or a Sharks coach, just because the URC looks like it's got a really good opportunity right now. But obviously, whatever happens in the Challenge Cup happens in the Challenge Cup. The Sharks have some players that could get experience, the guys that are waiting, that haven't been getting the game time, that they would love to see play. But yeah, I think within the last few weeks, the Sharks and the Bulls' outlook on what this season is completely changed. But yeah, I definitely think the Sharks need to sign JP Peterson right now. He needs a long-term contract immediately. He's changed the culture at the Sharks. He's found the right style of play for the Sharks to play, and he gets the best out of his players, even if they are superstar players. And one last thing, Kings Park is becoming one of the best stadiums to play in South Africa. I mean, the last few weeks have shown it, especially for the club tournaments. They really are buying into the URC, into the Champions Cup and everything, and I love to see it. And I'd love to see more big Springbok games played at Kings Park. It's such an underrated stadium. The atmosphere before the games. I think if there's some stadiums I would suggest to people to go watch in the world, I'd say Kings Park in South Africa is probably, for me, firmly in the top 2 for stadiums that they should go watch for an awesome South African experience. I'd probably say Ellis Park or Loftus as well for a bit of hostile environment, and obviously Cape Town. But Kings Park right now is becoming the full package of a stadium, so that's really awesome to see. I'm really excited about what's happening in South African rugby right now for the clubs. I know I'm just rambling on right now, but yeah, I think Sharks deserve to win this game. The Stormers will bounce back. Definitely. Some guys need to go fix their own problems from the Stormers, their own skills, and I think they'll get that right. I'm very excited for the Stormers season. I'm very excited for the Sharks season. 36 points to 24. Sharks get an emphatic win in Durban again. 2 weeks in a row, they get a big win against one of the better teams in the competition. Can they keep it up? I think they will. But if you guys do enjoy this content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. We're trying to get to 1,000 as quick as possible. 6 Nations next week. We're going to be following absolutely everything, guys. So if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.